So around a week ago, I covered a theory that might possibly link the Dream SMP towards the Origin SMP. The linking argument over this one was a post-apocalyptic world where the Origins came to be. In the comment section of that video, I got given a lot of different ideas on how to expand upon that theory, which I might cover in another video, as well as concern from other people who just want it to remain a lore-free server. So a quick PSA for that one: when it comes down to these guys, it will probably have some form of lore eventually, but I doubt it will ever be like the Dream SMP lore, as they're already building some form of story and lore quote-unquote things inside of the server itself already. I don't believe that there will be an instance where there's no stories whatsoever told in the server. I just believe it will never be to the magnitude of the Dream SMP style of things. Either way, before we get into this video, we cover a new Origin SMP origin story. I'd like to ask you guys to go down there and hit the subscribe button down below, as well as hit the like button while you're down there, as it always helps out the video do well, and it'd be highly appreciated if you just do that. And without further ado, let's dive into this new theory. This theory we're going to be discussing today is by the Reddit user The Name is Tarot. I'll leave a link to the original Reddit post in the description down below for you guys to go check out yourself and give this person a bit of love and support for it. Either way, we're going to go over the theory and expand upon the ideas. Going through the post, the theory starts off with somehow a rip open up between the worlds, including their respective dimensions. Whilst this rift was open, select parts of the worlds fell in, copied over across space, time, travel, and existence. Unbeknownst to the inhabitants of their original world, these copies became entwined with the others. They combined to create a new world altogether, one with strain effects on the land and the creatures who now populate it. Significant figures and people from all the different worlds were merged together into variants of themselves, most being given new powers and new weaknesses to go along with this new change. Magic and life had joined together in something unseen by anyone before. Some inhabitants had recollection of previous worlds, others appeared as being entirely new, fallen from the sky or risen from the fire. Some of these beings that had no idea, seeming entirely new, may have been from other worlds that have existed in the time past, or potentially were involved in the fusion and the destruction of some parts of this mess that had become the Rift. The land became generated in strange ways, almost a reflection of the life that it was now home to. Changed all the way down to the void of inexistence below. The very world itself was the product of the mesh realities created by the Rift. The core area of the world, the original home spot, is just this one massive circle of broken land and crust in between another set area, leading to drastic holes that go all the way down and into the void, allowing people to fall in without even worrying about the bedrock's existence. Further out from this beautiful encirclement, you'll see the weird jutting irritations of the land changing drastically, with sudden biome chains and massive cliffs that don't make any sense whatsoever. Cold biomes somehow falling into hot areas, creating a weird boxy square around the main area of the world that even further within itself has this weird broken circle. New inhabitants would be born of this broken rift, inhabitants that were taken from other worlds and fused with other origins and generations and genetics, ultimately crafting the perfect recipe for fusion of people and animals. But the genetic splicing wouldn't just stop there. Certain things created by races of the past, such as elytra and wings, would end up being somehow fused into the genetic bindings of other people, giving certain people the ability to glide and ability to jump absurd heights with just a simple leap of air. Of course, these people's bodies would be compromised to be only able to wear weak bits of armor and nothing that would be that strong. The genetics of a blaze would be fused with a human that would end up being born of the flames around, becoming absurdly powerful and wondrous with how much the fire does nothing but increase the pain that he does to everyone else. Some people may have gotten infused with genetics based on what they already had in their body, just to a much higher extent than before, overpowering the other quantities in their genetic lineup, making them more based around that one thing, an Enderman to be exampled. This would continue over and over again, fusing human genetic makeup with the genetic makeup of many different animals. allowing these humans to do new and different things, getting new powers that they would have never have had beforehand, but also giving them new weaknesses at the same time. But some people's genetic lineups would escape the madness and would retain their most human formalities. But as most people in the world would know, just like the world itself, most people would never escape. They would get given these weird genetic perks that would change how they would have to live life for ages. This new genetic makeup that would continue to evolve and change as new people are born, potentially fusing the genetic makeup of weaker genetics in order to create stronger, more varied different origin beings. However, instead of being deterred by the differences that separate them all, the new inhabitants of this world forged ahead, creating their own marks upon the land and each other, working together to create a new harmony and peace amongst them all, and slowly but surely inviting new members to join their ranks, people who have never been involved before, who've been outcast by everyone else, to work together to forge a new world that everyone can be proud of and be happy living in without being outcast for their simple abilities and their disabilities that come with them, and knowing that everyone around you have some form of handicap to their own special powers, making them strong but weaker at the same time. New people would come from the skies and the stars to join the world that either potentially shapeshifted to look more like the human-based life forms that they saw down below, or potentially due to the rifts these type of genetic mixing with stars and other things alike occurred, causing the demotic starborns or just the starborns on their own. And due to the genetic mixing, they end up coming out with a lot more powerful abilities and very little handicaps to go alongside them. A lot of people from the original worlds back when the rifts occurred would remember where they came from and the stories that were able to be harvested within their memories, telling these stories to their next generation, allowing their time in the other worlds to be carried on for generations, living onwards in the memory of the people that carried on their origin and their genetics and their ideals, helping form a world known as the Origins SMP, where everyone can work together to have fun and enjoy life as it is, without ever having to worry about what could potentially go wrong in these other worlds. So, what did you guys think of that theory? There is a lot of weirdness when it comes to this theory, as it's not as cleanly put together as the other one that I made a week ago. But I personally just wanted to discuss the idea of the theory and put it together into a video for you guys to at least understand, and maybe you guys can fill in the blanks of what doesn't make sense about this theory. Because from my personal understanding, I tried to fill in a lot of the blanks that there were left in this original Reddit post here, and try and potentially come up with a new constructive idea behind the theory itself. But of course, you guys are really good and creative people in the community, so you guys will definitely have some interesting ideas that you'll probably voice to me in the comments down below, and I always read these most of the time, and I might potentially feature some theory ideas in a video of moving forward, because you guys are really creative with what you guys come up with. So let me know in the comments down below if you want to see more videos covering theories and ideas behind the Origin SMP. But until next time, I'm going back to the dark place which I once came, and goodbye!